What happens when the world's most advanced military stops building million-dollar missiles and starts building $35,000 kamikaze clones? Last night, during the opening salvos of Operation Epic Fury, the U.S. did the unthinkable. It attacked Iran using a reverse-engineered version of its own most famous weapon. Today, we break down Project Lucas, the drone that turned the mirror war into a reality. The global defense landscape shifted permanently on February 28, 2026. That date marked the start of Operation Epic Fury, a joint U.S.-Israeli campaign specifically targeting IRGC infrastructure. While the headlines initially focused on the scale of the strikes, the real story was hidden in the flight patterns. CENTCOM's Task Force Scorpion Strike, or TFSS, officially confirmed the first combat use of the Lucas. That stands for Low-Cost Unmanned Combat Attack System. For the first time, we saw precision strikes on air defense nodes and command centers in Tehran and Isfahan, carried out not by stealth bombers, but by a flood of expendable delta-wing drones. The Scorpion Strike Squadron, based right in the heart of the Middle East, was stood up for this exact moment to field these attritable systems. In military speak, attritable just means they're cheap enough to lose. Instead of risking a pilot or a billion-dollar platform, the U.S. is now throwing relatively inexpensive hardware at the problem until the target is overwhelmed. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the anatomy of this clone. The Lucas is, for all intents and purposes, a polished mirror image of the Iranian Shahed 136. Between 2024 and 2025, the U.S. captured several intact Shahed units and handed them over to Arizona-based Spectre Works. The goal wasn't just to study them, but to perfect them. The Lucas maintains that familiar 10-foot length and 8-foot wingspan, but the similarities end under the hood. While the Iranian original is famous for its flying lawnmower sound, the Lucas is powered by a DA-215 engine. This engine is significantly quieter and more fuel efficient. Beyond the acoustic signature, the avionics are a generational leap forward. The Lucas utilizes the music mesh network, allowing for autonomous swarm coordination. This means the drones can talk to each other in mid-air, redistributing targets if one drone is shot down, a capability the original Shahed simply lacks. There's a deep irony here. For years, investigators found American-made GPS units and consumer-grade chips inside Iranian drones. Now, the U.S. is using those same high-end American components to build a superior version of the very weapon used against its own bases. It is the ultimate return-to-sender moment in modern warfare. This shift represents a massive change in the Pentagon's doctrine, known as the Replicator strategy. For decades, the math of war has been trending in a dangerous direction for the West. Why spend $2 million on a Tomahawk cruise missile just to destroy a $50,000 radar installation? It's an economic dead end. The Replicator Program is the Department of Defense's answer to that math. By fielding thousands of cheap drones, they can overwhelm enemy air defenses through sheer volume. Spectre Works and other non-traditional contractors are now essentially printing these drones at a fraction of the cost of a traditional Reaper or Global Hawk. We are seeing a move toward mass production that feels more like an automotive assembly line than an aerospace laboratory. If you think swarm warfare is the end of traditional air superiority, hit that like button and subscribe to TechBite for more deep dives into the future of the front line. Your support helps us keep pace with these rapid tech shifts. The geopolitical impact of the Lucas cannot be overstated. We're in the era of the mirror war. Iran now finds itself in the uncomfortable position of having to defend against the very swarm tactics it pioneered and exported globally. But the U.S. has added a multi-domain twist. The Lucas isn't just restricted to truck-mounted launches in the desert. Recent tests have shown these drones being deployed from the USS Santa Barbara and other littoral combat ships, and even from containerized launchers that can be hidden on standard cargo vessels. This creates a cheap interceptor problem for the adversary. The only cost-effective way to stop a $35,000 drone is with a $2,000 interceptor, like the ones we've seen utilized in Ukraine. Currently, the IRG-SHE isn't equipped with the volume of short-range ballistic defenses needed to catch a swarm of 100 Lucas drones at once. The final straw for the U.S. reportedly came earlier in February when an F-35 had to use an expensive air-to-air missile to shoot down a single Iranian Shahed. The Pentagon decided then and there that it was time to stop using silver bullets for lead problems. As we look toward the end of 2026, production orders for the Lucas are predicted to hit the 5,000-unit mark. This represents a total vibe shift within the Pentagon. By embracing the cheap and many philosophy, the U.S. has effectively mirrored its adversary's greatest strength while adding the lethal precision of American networking. The question now is how the world responds when the high-tech superpower starts winning the low-tech volume game. What's your take? Is cloning the Shahed a brilliant tactical move or a dangerous escalation that will lead to more drone wars? Let us know in the comments.